Hey guys. Wait. Where's the video? Oh, yeah, it is. Hey guys. Hi, my name is Virender. Welcome back to my channel. And today is a very special day for me as I am releasing my first video of the new series called Into the Kitchens of the World. So, this series basically is going to explore and talk about all the different cuisines out there in the world. I will also be, presenting and sharing the recipes of various famous foods of every cuisine of every country, their specialities, if possible, what is the history of this food. So I start off this series with the Sindhi cuisine. Me being Sindhi, we have a staple food called the Sindhi curry, which is usually served with rice, and the accompaniments would usually be an aloo took, which is just a fried slice of potato, and meathi bundi. So let us jump into the video, and I can show you how it is done. Again, this is my version of the recipe. This is not a mandatory recipe that is followed across the community. It is just my version. This is what I have learned from my elders. This is what I have learned from my nani. So presenting to you my version of the Sindhi curry, meathi bundi and aloo tuk. Let's jump to the video. So we start off this recipe by first making a paste of some spices. So we will be requiring about 2 tablespoons of cumin seeds, 2 whole green chilies. You can either slit them, cut them, break them, or put them however you want. 1 to 1.5 inch of ginger, and about a few sprigs of curry leaves. Blend it to a fine paste and keep this aside. Take some lady's finger and give it a slit in the center. We need to deep fry this for about 3 to 4 minutes, so that it just becomes a little more sturdy, so that when we later put it in the curry it does not break loose. So just fry them in, and once they are fried for about 3 to 4 minutes, you will notice that there has been a slight reduction in the size. You can take them out, drain out the excess oil, and keep them aside. Moving on, we need to take about 10 medium sized tomatoes and make a puree out of it. Keep that aside. Take about 10 to 15 tablespoons of oil in a cooker or a heavy bottom pan. Make sure it's a heavy bottom pan because the process would require that much stability, and if you use a thin pan it will get burnt easily. In this, I would add 1 teaspoon of fenugreek seeds, that's methi seeds, and about 1 tablespoon of mustard seeds, that's rye. Let it splutter, and once it splutters, we will now add the prepared chili paste, the chili ginger cumin paste. You add that once the rye and methi seeds splutter. Once this is in, this would start spluttering the oil too hard, so just make sure that you're safe and you do not get any burns from this. It's better that you add it from a slight distance. Now you start sauteing this, and this has to be sauteed for about 4 to 5 minutes until you lose the raw smell, and then you would add about half a cup of gram flour. Once the gram flour is added, you need to be a little quick and start mixing it, otherwise it will get stuck to the bottom and start getting burnt. Yes, there will be a considerable amount of scraping that would need to be done, because this would need to come to a slight dark brown color or a darker green color, as you will see ahead in the video. Do use more oil as you feel necessary, so as to prevent it from sticking and burning. And in regular intervals, you need to scrape off the masala that's stuck at the bottom. And yes, do saute it, spread it out, and cook it well. Add about half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of hing, that's asafoetida powder. Mix it well, saute it, and you should be able to notice that this concoction is now becoming dark in color, and this will start leaving oil. Once it starts leaving oil, you know that it's good to go. Just saute it for a minute or two, and yes, then after that we will be adding some basic masalas. Once this is done, you can add about 2 teaspoons of haldi, that's turmeric powder, and about 3 to 4 teaspoons of red chili powder. Please do be careful with the red chili powders, as we have already added green chilies. You can take it up or down as per your requirement of spices. Once this is done, you just mix it up and saute it properly. Scrape off the bottom, and this would take just a few minutes, so that you just lose the basic raw smell of the haldi and the red chili powder that you have added. You will notice that all that oil that has been left by the masala is now coming out. To this, I will add about 2 cups of water, and I will bring it to a boil. Mix it well once you add the water, so that you can nicely scrape off everything from the bottom and bring that flavor back into the curry. So once this comes to a boil, we will then add the tomato puree what we have kept aside. You add the tomato puree and mix it well, and again let it come to a boil. Once this mixture comes to a boil, then we will do the seasoning for it. At this point, your curry is 80% ready, 80 to 90% ready. Add the salt as per your requirement, and mix it well and do your taste test. It is recommended to do a taste test at this point, because after this you will be adding the vegetables into this. For the vegetables, I have drumsticks. I have about 2 to 3 drumsticks cut into 1.5 inch sticks. This we will add it first into the curry, as this needs some extra time to cook, and the lady's finger we have already cooked it up. So we add this inside and we let it boil. This usually takes about 10 to 12 minutes. In some cases may take up to 15 minutes. Do give it that time, as patience is key while making the curry. Then we add the fried lady's finger, and we give it a quick boil. This won't take long. Now in some places they do add the tamarind water, the water when the tamarind is soaked and kept in, or in some places they add kokum, so as a, you know, ingredient that makes the curry a little more sour. And that's it, your curry is good to go. Now we move on to the meathi bundi. For meathi bundi, first we'll take a vessel and take about 3 cups of sugar in this. I'm using plain white sugar, and the quantity of water is equally as the sugar. So 3 cups of sugar, so I will be adding 3 cups of water. Give it a good mix, bring it to a boil, and while this sugar syrup is getting made, while it is getting boiled, let us have a look at the basic batter for the bundi. We need about 1 cup of besan and a pinch of baking powder and about half a teaspoon of baking soda. To this we add about as much water as required for making a smooth paste. Ensure there are no lumps formed. Please do add little by little, add the water little by little, so that you can, make a smooth paste, and then you can add more water to make the quantity. This is important, because you need to smoothen out the entire batter. If there are any lumps, then the bundi will not come out as good as what we are expecting. Add some water, beat it well. It should be of a not so thin but not so thick consistency either. Now the sugar syrup is ready. In this, I will add some warm water, which I have to which I have added saffron to give it the flavor. To this, I have also added a few drops of rose water. This I have added in the same water which I had soaked the saffron. Now your sugar syrup is ready. Time to fry the bundis. Take a spoon or a ladle which has the holes in it and just fill it with batter and drop it into the hot oil. You will notice that it comes out as bundi, and this takes a little bit of practice, but yes, it's pretty easy to eventually get right. And if you want soft bundis, you take it out immediately, or else if you want it crispy, you take it out after about 3 to 4 minutes. I have let it be up for about 45 seconds so that it's not too soft and not too crispy. Moving on to the aloo took. About 3 alus, we season them with salt and give it a good massage. Once it's given a massage, we fry these alus. I would suggest to do it always in the last, because if the aloo gets soggy, then there's no fun. So this aloo took is a two-step process. You fry the alus for one batch, and then you put the second batch. While the second batch is getting fried, this aloo should cool down, and you need to smash it, but not completely. It should be just so it should be a little smash where you can where it just has a small crack so that the oil can seep through. It's slightly flat, not fully, and then you refry this entire thing. So it's a double frying method basically. So once this is double fried, your aloo took is also good to go. Now we just plate it up. The bundi which you have put into the sugar syrup has to be there just for about 2 to 3 minutes. Anything more than that, it will soak in too much of syrup, and then you will not like it. It will be too sweet. So yes, as I said, this goes with rice. The curry and rice is this combination. The alus can be had just like that. It is seasoned, or else you can top it up with a little bit of red chili powder and dhania powder. That's coriander powder. With this, it's good to go. I hope you like the video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And this is Virender signing off. Please do like, share, and if you're new, please do subscribe and click on the bell icon. Thank you.